What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and break down what a Wyckoff accumulation schematic is showing for this thing and why we could have some relief, in my opinion, relatively soon before we start to see some more of kind of bullish price action. I'm also going to break down when on earth Tesla may end up breaking around 4,600 or even $5,000 a share based off a previous prediction I made when it comes to their production and other factors like that. And before I break any of this down and talk about where I see Tesla's share price going, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, but benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you are guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that money to buy some Tesla shares for free. This is a limited time offer. It ends in just 12 days, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, obviously we are seeing some very, very interesting price action. And I am making some I do anticipate that Tesla is about to make some very, very interesting moves. Now, the question is, how would you actually represent Tesla from a Wyckoфfian perspective? Because in one of my previous videos, I talked about the fact that Kathy Wood predicted Tesla would be worth about $4,600 based off today's amount of outstanding shares. That means we're not accounting for a stock split, but based off how many shares there are, if there is never like a stock split or anything like that, Tesla would reach 4,600 by 2026 or even higher than that. Now, I think that's actually a very possible estimate. Some people would think it's crazy, but we have a forward-looking stock market, a future looking stock market. And we have a tendency of valuing things based off how big they're going to be in the future. And from my perspective, I do see these estimates as very realistic. I think the 2022, I'm not sure we're going to break all-time highs based off current market conditions, but in later years, based off how many cars are going to be sold, I do think that there are some very bullish catalysts. The Cybertruck is going to be massive. The Roadster is coming out. It's going to be even just as big. And not to mention the fact that Tesla's putting its hands in many different multi-trillion dollar sectors like AI technology, full self-driving technology, and so on and so forth. So just based off cars alone, this thing could, in my opinion, hit at least $5,000 before 2027. I really believe that they could do that. And that doesn't account for other factors. But before we get to like 1,800, 2,000, 3,000, or high numbers like that, just hypothetically, I want to talk about the share price right now and for this year. So, how would this really stand out from a Wyckoфfian perspective? Right here, we had that preliminary support that kind of played out a nice bounce based off that, selling climax, followed by that automatic reaction. And then down here, you could argue that we saw that, that sell test. Now, the problem is, would this be the sell test or would this be the sell test? And I do think it's possible that this could actually be the true sell test because we didn't really get that bounce that's supposed to come right after. Then we got a nice bounce after. Remember when the SPY started to rally around like April? This could be the start of phase B. So from a Wyckoff perspective, it does appear like we made it to the bottom, the sell test in phase B, and we're going to see a temporary relief rally for maybe just a week or two. At least I anticipate that before we get more downside, followed by a nice reversal. Now, the problem with looking at this from this standpoint is some of these phases can be like really, really long, while other ones could be much shorter. There was a time where Tesla entered a phase that was like really short, then all of a sudden it just ran up and it took a couple of months. So it's very tricky to really predict this in a perfect manner. But what I want to talk about is look, before Tesla goes to $4,000, $5,000, yeah, those price targets are possible. They're very possible based off what this company is doing. Elon Musk himself stated that he believes Tesla is going to be the most valuable company in the world. He says it has the potential to do that. Apple was worth $3 trillion, and it's arguably the most valuable company in history. So Elon Musk is saying Tesla's going to easily break past $3,000 and has that potential. And I agree with him. So why do I say that? Elon Musk, yeah, sometimes he says things, the market can move, Tesla can move based off what he says. People may agree or disagree. That's fine. That's totally okay. But At the end of the day, the vision hasn't changed. The moves they're making have not changed. What they're doing has not changed. So, what could end up happening for just a couple of weeks, it's possible that we entered this phase right here where we get these like reversals. So, perhaps for like just a few weeks, Tesla starts to push up, kind of like this, and we might go as high as that, like where that gap fill is around that mid $800 level. And what you'll notice is that these peaks right here are lower than this one right here. So we're not going back to maybe 1100, maybe a little bit lower. So we could go back to the 800 to 900 range. It's possible, as crazy as that may sound, for just a couple of weeks. And all of a sudden we might get a rejection, kind of double top, and then we'll start this next slow decline. Now, perhaps Tesla's going to announce a stock split. The share price could kind of push up again a little bit. Maybe it's going to come around August, September. But then ultimately, the market conditions may cause this thing to continue to drop, and there could be more downside as we reach that final phase. And that final phase may be the spring phase that brings Tesla down to the 500 range. So where are we going to bounce? I mean, it's very hard to tell. I did anticipate around 580 to 540, somewhere around there. It's possible. And slowly, once we get that bounce, we're going to trade a little bit sideways, but slowly we're going to start pushing up as we approach the year end. And as I would say the next year comes, it's possible the market kind of shifts. Now, it depends on what the Fed does too. If the Fed is still really, kind of like tightening on monetary policy, if that's the case, if it goes that far, it is possible for us to be a little shaky, but I wouldn't necessarily see it that way. I think once we hit the bottom, we're going to start a bull rally, and Tesla's going to start pushing up going into next year. And this thing might actually hit a peak. It might go back to that 1200, maybe as high as 1400 a share, and then start another cycle. But eventually, the year after, before the year after, it could even start to hit the 1800 to 2000 range in 2023, in my opinion, because we have Cybertruck coming out, we have the Roadster coming out. I mean, we have some really, really bullish things coming out. So I would anticipate sometime during 2023, we might actually see this thing make a very, very good comeback, believe it or not. Remember, I believe, and this is my opinion on the market, okay? I believe that if we fast forward a couple of years, people are going to see the growth and think, wow, I wish I bought these dips, because the growth in this market is going to be so profound. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit the 1800 range sometime in 2023. That's kind of like what my target is. I think it's very possible. And after that, we might start to reaccumulate, kind of continue from there. But like I said, I'm still really, really bullish. Okay. Still incredibly bullish. If you think these lines look way too steep, look at this. Let me go back. Look at how Tesla's moved over the last few years. Okay, let's move this. Whoops. I think I just moved something I wasn't supposed to move. Hold on 1 second. Automatic reaction would be right here. But going down here, look at how much this thing could run. When the time is right, look at this squeeze like event that we saw. This is like accounting for the stock split. Tesla would have been like in the 50s, and this thing went all the way up to 1200. Look at that. It's incredible. And it's just the beginning. There's more growth coming because Tesla is still in its growth phase. So when you see this red, there's going to be a lot of panic. The media is going to go crazy. I understand that. Just know we so far have been following this Wyckoff accumulation schematic. Okay. And from what I'm seeing, essentially, okay, from what I'm seeing, this thing is still in a good position. It's still primed for upside. It's not the end of the world seeing it in the red. Now, why am I bullish? Like I said before, we have some estimates of how many cars they may end up selling. I made a previous video about this. Elon Musk estimated by 2030 they could hit 20 million. The market cap, the revenue is going to increase like crazy, hundreds of billions in revenue per year. And I believe before the decade ends, we're going to see $1 trillion in revenue, over $1 trillion. EPS is going to continue growing, but there's no way for me to calculate that without knowing how many shares there are, because it depends on stock splits. And the price is just going to keep moving, in my opinion. I'm very, very bullish. Even if I'm half off, I've said this many times, even if I'm completely wrong and we only go to 4,000 by 2028, think about it this way: 2028 is like less than 6 years from now, because we're in the middle of 2022. In less than 6 years, if Tesla's in the like 600, 500s, you could 8x your money in less than 6 years. That's still a phenomenal return on your investment. Am I guaranteeing it? No, non financial advice. I'm not promising that, right? I'm just saying hypothetically, it has the potential to allow you to make insane returns on your investment. Insane returns. If you really believe in this company, if you see the growth potential it has, if you see how many millionaires and billionaires were made off Tesla, it makes plenty of sense. In this future looking market, it's not the end. I think in the future, we're going to look back at this moment where we saw these drops and wish we bought as much as we could, because there's going to be immense growth, not just for Tesla, but many tech stocks in America, in the United States. And they're going to continue to grow and grow and grow for decades to come. With that out of the way, I want to thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of the day. Nothing in this video is financial advice. These are all just estimates. Do your own DD, do your own research. Thank you, and Tesla to the moon, and peace out.